Hey there everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. And in today's video, it will be the start of a new mini-series tutorial on making another MERN stack or popular MERN stack application. And in this application, it will be a blog application or blog app in which we will use our CRUD requests, create, read, update, and delete to make everything come to life pretty much. So let's take a look at how the app will look like. So it'll be a simple application. It'll just have a nav bar and where things will be rendered. And once again, just as the previous video or the previous project, the reason why I want to make this simple is because I don't want to take away from learning how to make any of the requests or using React or anything like that. Pretty much take it away from the tutorial. And that's why I just want to make it simple as well. So as you can see, this is our home page where we will have our title, our timestamp, and our preview rendered. We do have a create a blog page here where we can type in our blog, test and test, and then hit submit blog, and we should see it rendered in our home page here. So if you like that as well, we can pick or go to any of our blogs that we've made, click it, and it takes you directly to its blog profile where we will be able to read it as well as update it. So if we wanted to update it, let's take a look here, and then I can just type in UFOs are cool and update, and as you can see, UFOs are cool. So that's pretty cool, right? You have an app and you're including all of these here. And just let's take a look at one more thing. We go back, and if we wanted to delete it, we have our nice X button here to delete it. And as you can see, it deletes automatically, looking pretty good when deleting using the refetching method there. So that's pretty much it, guys. I can't wait to get started. I hope you guys are excited to get started too, and we'll learn something together. So see you in a bit. All right, guys, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our folder separate from the front end and the back end, since those are what we are going to make in this project. So as you can see, we have our folder open or our project open. So let's just go into the terminal. Perfect. And then just make sure that it says blog MERN or the name of your folder there. And then what you're going to do, you're going to type in mkdir. mkdir, and then backend, because we want to make the backend folder first. And as you can see, the backend folder comes out, and then we're going to do the same but for the front end. Perfect. So as you see, they're both showing. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to focus first on the backend. That way, once we have the backend ready, we can focus on the front end. So what we're going to do is we are going to cd into the backend. And cd is change directory. That means pretty much to go into the directory. And as you can see, we're in the directory. And once again, when you're using the terminal, just make sure that you do have like the backend or whatever the name of that folder that you're looking to make. Okay, because it's definitely easy to get lost, and I definitely do know that from experience. So so definitely just make sure over here that it says backend or the name of the folder that you created for your backend. So once we're here, we are going to make a file, and the file is going to be the server. So you can in your Mac, or if you're using Windows, I believe it's code and then the name of the file. So for Mac, we can write or type touch and then server.js. So as you can see, the file was made, and then you can just click it. And then now what we're going to do is we are going to install our JSON packages. So we are going to type in npm init, or you can type in npm init space --y, I believe. And once again, that should take you pretty much bypass this whole area, or this whole having to press enter until the end, and you should be good to go after that. Okay, so if you just do the regular one, the npm init, all you have to do is just press enter, enter, enter. You can fill these out if you like, but you know, if you can just get to is this okay, and then type yes, and then you should be good to go. And then as you can see, your package.json file was made. And then if you go into it, this is where all of our dependencies as well are going to be installed. So speaking of dependencies, that's what we are going to install right now. So if you want, we can just go to back to our terminal, and then we can install them by just typing in our terminal npm. And what we are going to be using is npm I or npm install express. It's going to help make our server. We're going to use Mongoose. Mongoose helps out with connecting to MongoDB as well as making our schema pretty quickly. And then we're going to have cores. And cores helps us get no errors or less errors when connecting to our APIs here. And we have body parser. And body parser helps everything pretty much be parsed into JSON. And then lastly, we have NodeMon. And NodeMon is pretty cool, and I definitely do recommend using it because it helps and it beats having to kill the terminal and then get back in, kill the terminal and get back in with every update that you make. So you can just press enter, and I'll show you as well what I mean with NodeMon also. So it'll just take a few seconds to finish here, and perfect. So as you can see, it's installed. And we're good to go. So what we want to do first, what I like to do first is I like to just start my NodeMon server. So you can just type in npx NodeMon space and then the name of the server, which is server.js, but you don't need the JS, you can just type in server. And then it should give you something like this. So when you see this, that means that it's working, and it's just pretty much just waiting on your next command. So what we're going to do now is we have already installed it, but in order to use it, we have to import our dependencies. So that's what we're going to do now, and it's pretty simple to import them. It's pretty much just making them into a variable. So const, start with express, and then you're going to have to require them just like this. Oops, just like this. Okay, and that's it. So we're going to do those for the dependencies that we made, and then we have const mongoose equals require mongoose. Then we have const cores equals require cores. Okay, and then lastly we have const body parser equals require body parser. Oops, not that one. It's going to be regular body parser. Okay, perfect. Okay, I knew this is why. And as you can see, this is a cool thing about NodeMon. So if it reads any errors, it'll kill the terminal automatically until it is fixed, and then it'll tell you what the error is. So right now, I forgot to add the quotes, so it's telling me that it's not defined. So if you just add the quotes here, and we should be good to go, as you can see. Perfect. And then you also just want to make sure that you have all the dependencies installed. So we have body parser, cores, express, mongoose, and NodeMon right here under dependencies. So perfect. So we're pretty much good to continue here. So the next thing that I like to do is I like to set up my server with comments, just to make sure that I'm having all of my next, what I'm going to do next, just then and there. That way I know what to do next and I don't miss anything, right? So I'm just going to make a code here, a comment, and then I'm going to call this connect to express app. Okay, and then after that, connect to MongoDB. Then we can just have our middleware, and then our schema, and then our routes. Okay, and in the server, it is best practice to have things more organized in different folders. Like for example, when we do our schemas, we will be using a folder and connecting it to our server. We'll be creating a model server where we'll have our schema there. But for the routes, I just want to make this simple, and I'll just have this just here rendered in our server here of all of our routes or our CRUD requests here. Okay, but going forward, it is best practice to, once again, to just have everything organized and use more folders, such as controller folders and model folders. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to connect to the Express app. So what we're going to do here is we want to, again, make the variable const app and then equals to Express, and then we're going to call it just like that. Okay. And then if you want to start the server here, what you can do is just put this to the side, and then just put this to the side as well. So as you can see, if we go to local host 3001, that's what we're going to use. It's not going to be working here, but once we start it up by doing app.listen, and then you choose the name of the server, or the port of the server, sorry. And once again, if you're not too familiar with this, what this pretty much means is you're using the Express app. And remember, we put the Express app in a variable. So we're using the Express app to listen to the port that you listed here, just to make sure that it is open and that we can use that one. So once again, it's app.listen and the port number here. So we're using 3001. As you can see, once you hit reload or refresh the page, you'll get this white screen with cannot get. And when you see that, that pretty much means that the server is up and running. And let's say if we just misspelled this here, apps.listen, you refresh the page and it kills the server. Node kills the server. And as you can see here, it killed the server as well. And as you can see as well, apps, it'll tell you what's wrong. Apps is not defined because it is app. It's not apps. Okay. And then just refresh the page and you're back up and running. Cool. So pretty much what we're going to do here is we are going to connect to MongoDB. And the way that we connect to MongoDB is we go to database here. Okay, and then you can, I already have it connected here, but what you can do is just follow the prompts as well. And if you look in my previous video, it's a more detailed explanation than I'll give in this one here on how to connect the Mongo or how to create a new MongoDB project. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it has also my IP address, and of course I don't want to show my IP address or the password, although it's going to show, but I don't want to show some information like that as well. So I have it here. So after you're done setting up your project, you're going to come to browse collection. So it's going to look something like this. Your cluster with your name, your project name. So I called mine blog MERN, and it's cluster 17. So if you go to browse collections, you go to add my own data, and this is where you're going to make your own data here. So we're going to call this blog DB. And then in collection name, we have, you can make it anything as well. So we'll just call it blog, okay, or blogs. So we just click create, and we have created our database, okay? Perfect. So once we have that, what we're going to do now is we are just going to go to database here, and then we are going to click on connect. So now when we are in this page here, since we are going to be using node.js, we go to drivers, and then we can just copy and paste this here. So we copy this here, your string, your connection string, and then just go back to Visual Studio. And what we're going to do here is we are going to say const dbi, put the whole string in a variable here, dburi equals, and then just like that. So a lot of the times this is the username will be pre-filled, or it'll say username. If it's not, then you can enter the username that you created, and the password will be just like this. You can just type in the password, and I'll type in mine. I believe it's 123. Okay, and lastly over here, this is kind of tricky, but just make sure right before the question mark, this is where you're going to enter the database name. So we called ours blogs or blog DB. Let me just make sure here. So you can just go out. You can see it once you go to browse collection, and it'll be here. This is your DB name, your database, and this is your collection here. So ours is called blog DB. So BlogDB, perfect. So just make sure that matches, because if it doesn't, then it won't pull it out from here. If you have another one called blogsdb, something else, you won't get anything to be working correctly. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to use Mongoose. So we're going to do mongoose.connect, and then we're just going to pretty much call it just like that. And for me, you can do things like this. But I have the tendency of just having it on a separate line at times. So that's what I'm just going to do here. And then I'm just going to do db URI, and then just comma. Okay, and just like that. Okay, so now that we have the mongoose.connect db URI, what we have here is, I'm just going to copy and paste this here, but we are going to add use new URL parser and have that to true, and then use unified topology and true. And basically what that's doing is just enhancing our connection with with Mongoose and MongoDB. Okay, so once we have that there, the next thing we do is we are going to just make a then here, and then we are going to take this, pretty much this app.listen, and we're going to move it up here. So you can either move it up with just highlighting it and leaving option press on a Mac, and then you can just press up here, or you can just copy and paste it. So we are just going to take it, we're going to copy and paste it here, and then inside of it we are just going to finish off the function just like that, and then we're going to say console.log, that way we can know that if it's running, and we're going to say server and MongoDB are connected. Okay, so along the way, if anything happens, it'll let us know if it's connected. So as you can see, it's connected and we are ready to roll. So as normal as everything, we always want to make sure that there are no errors, and if there are any errors, we want to make sure we catch it, and it gives us some sort of a response letting us know what it is. So we can do .catch on the next line there, and then error inside, and then we can just console.log it, and then we can just type unable to connect to server and MongoDB, and then just give us the error as well here. Okay, so if there are any errors, let's see. Well, that's not going to give us an error. Let's see if this gives us an error, and that's not giving us an error here. Okay, I know what will give us an error, just making that a catch. Okay, so as you can see, it kills the terminal and the server, and as you can see, it killed it, completely killed it. So we just take a look, and it'll tell us catch right here. So you can just add the period here, and we should be up and running. Okay, as you can see, and then if we just reset it, and we're back in business. All right, perfect. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna work on our middleware, and we have, that's it. That's pretty much it for connecting our MongoDB. So it's pretty, as you can see, it's pretty simple actually. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to use these dependencies that we installed, especially cores and body parser. So in order to use them, what we're going to do is we are going to say app, once again using the Express app here, .use, and then body parser .json, and then you're going to call it just like that. Okay, and then once again, we're going to use app, the Express app, to use this middleware and its cores, and then just going to call it just like that. And that's pretty much it for the middleware. Okay, so look at that, guys. So once again, we pretty much made the two folders so far. Let me just make this bigger. So we made the two folders, the back end and the front end. We CD'd into the back end, and we made our package.json file as well as our server.js file, and we are setting up the server using the installed dependencies, Express, Mongoose, cores, and body parser. We connected to the Express app, as you can see here, and we also connected to our MongoDB, which is pretty awesome. And lastly, we also are using our middleware. So we're pretty much installing our middleware also, or importing it there. Okay, so the next video is going to be on our schema. So I'll see you there, guys.